All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, the Real Music Observer, just doing what I do, talking real music in real time for real people, just like you and just like me. There's a lot of chatter on various Fleetwood Mac pages and threads, whether that be their actual Fleetwood Mac Facebook page or on Twitter or in groups and so forth. And people are starting to just reminisce about the good old times when Lindsey Buckingham was in the band, and now all of them are wondering out loud, I wonder what is going on with Lindsey. I wonder how he's feeling. Blah, blah, blah. Well, I've noticed that all along, Kristen and Lindsey Buckingham have really tried to keep their privacy. And recently, last week, I believe they sold one of their houses that they had, and Ultimate Classic Rock reported it. Somebody sent me a message. This is how nuts then the speculation started to begin. Maybe Lindsey can't pay his medical bills, and so he's. I'm just like, I don't know. I would think the settlement would probably go a long way as far as helping him with medical expenses, but who knows? I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just want to consolidate. Like Steve Perry says, you can kind of only live in one house at a time. And typically these other houses are big time expenses, including all of the taxes you have to pay on the property and the upkeep and so forth. Maybe the Buckinghams are just reevaluating what's important to them, which they do seem to be cut from a bit of a different cloth. Even artistically, that shows up because Lindsey Buckingham has said on numerous occasions that he really cared about the art that he was making, basically saying that, the artistic elements really lead him in the direction as to what he's going to create, not just commercial viability, where obviously other members of his former band, I think, believe in, commercial success first and foremost. The reason Lindsey was brought in the first place was to turn a kind of perfunctory blues rock band into something that really had some pop sensibility and certainly changed the sound radically from especially the band's early days. But I find it a bit amusing, I guess, or almost a little frustrating that all these people want updates on Lindsey Buckingham. Many of these people are buying tickets to shows that have been announced. I believe Quebec City might be a new show. I'd have to double check that, but it seems as though it's full steam ahead. Live Nation, Azoff and the management team, they're going to try to recoup any of the losses that they will incur because they booked arenas and had to cancel, and it affects everything, all of the tourism and travel that surrounds attending a rock concert. All of those bookings had to be canceled, and in some cases people can't get refunds. But and that's why I said in another video that a lot of these people won't be rescheduling because they've been burned once and they probably don't want to get burned a second time. But I find it kind of curious that a lot of the people who are Lindsey Buckingham sympathizers these days, because of what the man's been through, weren't all that sympathetic or weren't all that concerned when he got booted from the band really for no reason. I'll just keep saying that because I still haven't heard a good reason as to why Lindsey Buckingham was fired from Fleetwood Mac. And yes, Mick Fleetwood, he was fired. I know you don't like to use that word, but that is what happened. Haven't heard a good reason for it. Haven't heard a good explanation for it. And I think really, like I said in another video, karma has begun to, maybe sort of tip the scales a little bit. I'm sure they're going to fight through this as far as getting as much revenue in. They're still going to Europe. They're still going to Australia. Hopefully, Stevie Nicks will fully recover from whatever it is, whether it's pneumonia or the flu. I know that a lot of people have speculated that it could be something else, but I think pneumonia is a bit stronger than the flu. We heard in a report that she's already starting to feel better. Think of it like the stock market. You tell your shareholders that your lead vocalist is feeling better, so they'll go out and they'll purchase those tickets, and they won't hesitate to spend $200 or $300 on a ticket to go see a garage band version of the band that you grew up listening to. It's just the facts, folks. It's a lot different. In fact, when you've got a band of 5 extra players surrounding the stage or behind the stage or within eye shot but not really, visible on stage, you start to wonder where all those sounds are coming from. The whole thing to me, just as it sort of plays itself out, is really frustrating. And although I guess the sympathy for Lindsey is real, I think it's maybe a little too late. That's just my assessment of things. So, get your Fleetwood Mac tickets. They're really excited about the Quebec City show. So, have yourself a great day, everybody.